What does the best 17 look like for the Rabbitohs this year? Well, Zero Tackle team have the answers. We've made our call and we're going to break it down for you in this video. But before we do that, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We have plenty of NRL content coming out for you this year and you want to be here for that. Now, with all that being said, let's go. Bunnies, best 17. Before we get into it, make sure you're set for the new season with Zero Tackle's 2025 NRL Season Guide. The comprehensive season guide features over 120 pages of dedicated, detailed footy content ahead of the 2025 season. With profiles of every single player, team previews, fixtures, recruitment reports, and much, much more. Best of all, it's free. Get it now from zerotackle.com. All right, and here to break it down, the best 17 for the Bunnies this year, Darren Parkin, Zero Tackle analyst. Darren, so Wayne Bennett, second year at the helm for the second time. Can he do it?
Well, there's a lot of pressure on him. They've instantly done that, and as you say, he's got an ability to make sides bounce when he signs. And you know, he's had a crack up at the Dolphins at the new franchise, and now he lands back at one of his former clubs where he's had success. And the question is, can he achieve it with this list? A fair bit has to go right for them. They were pretty disjointed last year, some selection mishaps, a lot of injuries, form issues, and they really need some stability. And that's probably the first order of business for him, is just to settle down. And this best 17 would be a great way to start.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's get into it. Best 17 for the Rabbitohs. All right, so starting at number one, as always, so Latrell Mitchell, fullback, has represented a lot of their problems, but always interesting to talk about.
Yeah, he has. I mean, injuries often distracted seemingly, or a distraction in terms of headlines, suspended, out of form, whatever it may be. Large chunks of the last couple of years sort of in and out of the side, but he's a definite barometer when he's at his best. He is one of the best, and Wayne Bennett, that could be an early project for him to sort of, put the arm around him and settle him into that role. Jai Gray is a guy that's probably next in line if, for whatever reason, Latrell doesn't play every match.
Yep. There's probably going to be some.
There's a chance.
There's going to be some matches missed this year. All right, so moving on to the wingers. So we have Alex Johnson and Tyrone Munro.
Yeah, Alex Johnson, another one, had a few injury niggles. He's actually a decent chance to break the all-time try record of 212 this year, which was Ken Irvine's. You get the chance as a starter without question. You look at Tyrone Munro, another one who was really cruelled with injuries last year. He's a walk-up for the spot. A bit of a pattern emerging here, as we mentioned, with the injuries and some of these guys being unavailable. So, I mean, look, their fitness instantly would make them better. Isaiah Tass is probably first man up in the event of injuries into a number of those roles.
Yep. And then in the centres, Jack Whiten and Campbell Graham. Jack Whiten shuffled around a lot last year.
Yeah, which is what happens with injuries. Often you have to plug holes here and there. So he should get his wish to start 2025 in the centres. Ewan Atkins' arrival does give them some good depth. Campbell Graham missed the entire season last year, which was another big blow for them, and was probably on track to debut at Origin level if that didn't occur. So hopefully he can get back on the bike and push in that direction.
Yep. And the halves combination, so Cody Walker and Lewis Dodd.
Yeah, Cody Walker battling some injuries now, just some calf issues over the course of the pre-season. He'll start if fit in time. Lewis Dodd be keen to transfer what was some pretty solid Super League form into the NRL, but he is under pressure. They've got some options here. Jamie Humphries coming across from the Sea Eagles can play a number of roles, but this is one of them. Jaden Sullivan, likewise, is on a one-year loan deal from the Tigers and obviously needs to play to shop himself around a little bit.
Yep. All right. So that is the backs. Let's move now to the forwards. All right. So looking at the props now. So we have Davey Moali and Tavita Totola.
Yeah, David Moali. There's some experienced options that could slot in there, but we think they're going to get used elsewhere. So therefore, he starts ahead of the likes of Sean Kepi and Shakai Mitchell and a few of those sorts of players. They'll definitely be in the mix, but we think that he'll get that first role. Tavita Totola, a foot injury wrecked his season and it actually threatened to end his entire career last year, but he does look in pretty good shape now to launch into the season. And then the lock role, Cameron Murray, possibly the best at that role in the game when he's at his sharpest. So another one that they'd like to see plenty of action from.
Yep. And then in the number 9, Peter Mamouzelos.
Yeah, gets a chance. Been biding his time for quite a while, and that patience should play off. Damien Cook's defection has opened that door for him. Depth isn't incredible there, so he'll definitely get first opportunity.
Yep. And then the second roles of Keon and Jaira.
Yeah, both those guys can play other roles, and both will definitely be best 17. And we think the second row looks probably the best fit across the board for them. And in terms of some depth options, Aitken, who we mentioned earlier, Duncan, Hoster, all in the mix if required. But yeah, we think that they'll be best utilised in the second row.
Yep. All right, let's take a look at the interchange now. All right, so we're looking for versatility here. So Jamie Humphries, Ewan Aitken, Tallis Duncan, and Sean Keppie.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie can play dummy half or in the halves. Ewan Aitken centre or second row. Tallis Duncan in the middle or on the edge. So I think they'll be looking at, they've got a lot of guys that are on the fringe of the side that can play multiple roles, and they'll probably use that to their strength to just have some coverage in the event of injuries, form, matchups, whatever they need to do. That'll gives Wayne some of those options off the bench.
Well, that's our best 17 for the Rabbitohs. Not a whole lot of surprises there, but I think the aim of the game for them this year is just going to be staying fit.
Yeah, and look, I think Wayne Bennett, with his natural ability to get sides to bounce, his natural ability to get the best out of some players that are maybe a little bit erratic, gives them a decent chance of, putting their best foot forward. So I think there is some green shoots, if you will, within that lineup that they can work with.
Yep, absolutely. So let us know in the comments what you think of our best 17. I know it's always a contentious time in those comments, especially with Rabbitohs fans for some reason. So let us know what you think. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We have plenty of NRL content coming out for you this year, and you want to be notified and you want to be around for that. Catch all the latest NRL news at zerotackle.com, and thank you for watching.